かくなんかパソコン持ってきて。Now it's time. We'd like to start our seminar on decarbonization and digitalization seminar for the maritime industry. And we appreciate for such a large number of people applying for this seminar. I will serve as the moderator of the seminar. I am Yoshida of Star Marine PR. I'd like to first cover the housekeeping announcements. In view of prevention of the spread of COVID-19, we are holding this seminar in a hybrid style, face-to-face and YouTube live streaming. And we have one presenter joining from Germany from the Zoom. We will make our best for smooth operation of live streaming, but please give us good understanding. And we'd like to also remove the masks during the presentation sessions by the speaker. And online participants, we have given 2 links for seminar's YouTube channel. One is the original distribution, and another one is the simultaneous interpretation distribution. And if you are using the receiver for receiving simultaneous interpretation service, you can also listen to other languages of your preferred languages. And we are going to have the break in the middle, and we are going to temporarily stop the online streaming when at the designated time. We are going to resume the session, so please continue to log in. And live streaming will be ending with the presentations. The last presentation by Intellian, and today we are not providing any Q&A time during the presentation. So if you have any questions, please individually contact the Secretariat through email or other means. We hope this seminar will be quite a fruitful seminar for you. And first, I'd like to invite to this seminar's main media partner, Japan Maritime Daily, to make the presentation and introducing the media. Now, floor is yours. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Kagoya, Executive Officer of the Japan Maritime Daily. I am truly honored to offer an opening address. Please allow me to speak for 10 minutes or so. In line with the theme of today's event, the ESG and SDGs trend have accelerated the flow of decarbonization in recent years. Environmental response and global warming prevention is a major theme for all people and industries. For the shipping industry, which is committed to net zero GHG emissions by 2050, it will be essential at some point to switch to fuels with a lower environmental impact in terms of environmental response. However, next generation fuels that enable net zero emissions or zero emission ships are not yet ready for practical application. Effective fuel conversion is likely to be some time away. Meanwhile, in terms of immediate environmental challenges, the EEXI regulation and the CII are imminent in 2023. Firstly, on EEXI, although the EEDI fuel efficiency regulations for new vessels have already been in place for some time, decarbonization of shipping also requires action in existing vessels. In this context, we are aware that EEXI will be launched as a fuel efficiency regulation for existing vessels. Introduced as a package with EEXI will be the CII, or Fuel Efficiency Performance Rating System. The CII will start collecting data on ships' CO2 emissions and fuel consumption performance from 2023, and the ratings based on this data will be implemented from 2024. The rating is on a 5-point scale from A to E. In the case of receiving the lowest ratings of E and D for 3 years in a row, it is said that you need to submit an improvement report. However, in addition to the penalty of submitting a report, I have heard that there are calls at the IMO for incentives to be given to ships that achieve high grades such as A in the CII. In this context, the measures taken may depend on the respective positions of ship owners and charterers, whether they work together to obtain this incentive or only to avoid low rating. Now, one more thing about the EEXI. As I mentioned earlier, the EEDI fuel efficiency regulation for new ships has already been introduced for some time, but in order to decarbonize shipping, existing ships also needs to be addressed. In this context, we are aware that the EEXI will be launched as a fuel efficiency regulation for existing vessels. However, the EEXI regulations a system for inspecting the certifying the fuel efficiency performance of existing ships that are running today, but rules do not specify any measures to be taken. Although we often hear people mention engine power limits as a typical response, it is left to operators to decide how to tackle the EEXI regulation. While there seems to be a high degree of freedom, there may be some points to be aware of, such as who will bear the cost burden in complying with the regulations. Japan Maritime Daily has been communicating these two schemes, which are coming up next year, not only through articles but also through webinars. First of all, although we cannot introduce many articles because of time constraints, they were written by reporters who have carefully interviewed the companies and authorities, as well as Greece and other overseas countries' cases. Last month, the front page reported that the new shipbuilding prices cannot be lowered. Gap between shipping market and prices soaring material costs a drag. On 15th of August, also on the front page, it was reported that Sumitomo Mitsui Trust Bank subsidiary expand ship-related financing collaboration with parent company. Both articles delved deeply into the retrofitting of new shipbuilding and related equipment in line with strict environmental regulations. In addition, we hold leader-only webinars once a month on average, where we hear from experts on the current state of regulation, shipping, and shipbuilding. In April, Mr. Daigo Shimizu of Goldman Sachs and the company appeared on the subject of sustainability strategies for shipping industry in an SDG society. In June, Mr. Ryo Aoki, a lawyer at Toda Sogo Law Office, discussed the subject of the looming EEXI and the CII regulations, issues and the preparations for charter agreements. I'd like to show some video. So this is how the video goes. So this is just an expert, but its length is about 1 hour. This is rather a very specific theme covered by trade newsletters. And in the industry, we have a lot of the experts who appreciate these seminars and videos. This year marks the 80th anniversary of the founding of the Japan Maritime Daily. We started out when the press control integrated maritime presses into a single organization during the Pacific War. After the war, we became a privately owned company with thousands of staff and reporters. But in our many years of reporting on shipping and international logistics, there has never been a time like today when we are required to keep pace with the rest of the world, to introduce regulations and to shift the very nature of shipping itself to a new generation. We will continue to keep abreast of the latest efforts in the shipping industry to comply with environmental regulations in our news reporting. I am sure all of you here today and those of you who are watching our online streaming are eagerly awaiting the stories of the people who are about to speak. All speakers after this are from companies that are offering concrete digital solutions to these issues. We hope that you will stay with us to the end of today's session, and I am confident that the information you gather will help you to further develop your business. That concludes my opening remarks. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Kagotani-san. So next, we are going to have a presentation from Stone Geo. The country manager of Stone Geo Japan, Mr. Kazuyuki Kojima, is going to give us a presentation. Mr. Kojima, the floor is yours. Okay, so I would like to give a presentation. My name is Kazuyuki Kojima, the country manager of Stone Geo, and I would like to talk about the product of Stone Geo for CII rating. So how can we support the maritime shipping companies, shipping operators regarding CII rating? That is what I would like to talk about today. So I would like to talk about the services and what we are doing as a Stone Geo. And after that, I would like to talk about the fleet performance management. So actually, Theo, who is in charge of the fleet performance management, is going to access this conference online from Hamburg. So he will be giving the specifics about how we are working on the decarbonization, and we have already started this service, but he will give you the details of our service. So first of all, if you can look at this slide. So it says a one-stop solution connecting the shipping industry. The shipping operators have a lot of challenges, and it differs according to the team. And our aim is to let people open the door to our system, and we will be able to provide the solutions to all the different challenges. So we would like to provide a one-stop solution. Next, I'd like to talk about our history as a company. So we have tried to achieve our goal, and this is actually can be seen when you look at our company's history. I will just talk about the past 10 years due to time constraints. And the company was established in 1997, and it was actually a service which actually started from providing service to the North Sea operations. And StormGeo was providing weather for information to the ships that is navigating in the outside ocean. So we were trying to enhance our services, and that took place in 2014. And you can see 2018, 2019, we have acquired a company who is providing the electronic ocean chart, and then a maritime chart. And also we have acquired or had obtained a partnership with a fleet performance management company. So we have tried to enhance our company so that we can be a one-stop solution provider. And if you can look at 2021, our company, StormGeo, was acquired by Alpha Level. The customers there may be some customers who are already using our company, but we became part of Alpha Level, and they are trying to focus on the software to reduce the greenhouse gas, and this is aligned with our aim as well. So that's why we became part of Alpha Level. So the hardware manufacturer and the software manufacturer had got together, and we are trying to provide a new service for value creation to our customers. This is the latest events, and in August 2022, there is a company called Bankametric in Denmark, and they became part of StormGeo in August. So it's a company in Denmark, and they are the company which is providing system to optimize fuel processing procurement processes, and they reduce the procurement cost of fuel. What kind of force or what kind of volume should we aim for, and what should the fuel grades be? So this is a software that will help the operators decide such things. And I would like to, I am thinking that we will be able to provide you this new service in near future. So that's all regarding our company. This is the concept of our service. we were given feedback from the shipping operators, and we were trying to cope with their requests, and we are trying to provide some things that they can use to monitor the performance or monitor the speed of the vessel, and we are also trying to provide some support regarding CII rating. And we are trying to do this in one platform by providing three services based on one platform. It's called S Insight and S Planner and S Routing. And regarding S Routing and S Planner, I would like to just briefly mention these, but regarding the service, we are actually providing the service to our customers. And regarding S Planner, it's an onboard system, and it is a support tool for making decisions. And we have installed this in more than 5,000 ships. And regarding S Insight, this is something where the operators on the land can look and utilize as a tool. So today, I would like to talk more about S Insight and the CII routing rating support services. So how is it digitized, and how can we provide it as a service to our customer? So I would like to elaborate on this. So this was the overview. So that was all from me.
Okay, I just finished my part. I'd like to powerfully my presentation about
私の方から、プレゼン終わりましたので、ヨーロッパのティロさんに代わりたいと思います。簡単に自己紹介をして、自分のパートのプレゼンをしてください。こんにちは。ティロさん、聞こえません。聞こえますか？はい、今聞こえます。聞こえましたか？では初めからやり直したいと思います。ティロートカットと申します。フリートパフォーマンスマネジメントのトップをストームジオシッピングで行っております。お客様に対してソフトウェアやサービスなどを提供して、船舶の最適化、運航の最適化を図って燃費の、削減、そして全般的なオペレーションの、簡素化の手助けをしております。本日ですが、私の方からはいかにフリートパフォーマンスマネジメントによってCII の格付けにどんなインパクトをもたらすことができるのかお話ししたいと思います。そしてスライドもお見せしたいと思いますが、ホストの方で、少し、スクリーンが共有できるように、主催者の方少し、私に権限をいただけますでしょうか。もしくは主催者の方でスライドを映していただけますでしょうか。この、会議の、主催者の方に、先ほど打ち合わせしていたように、プレゼンテーションが共有できるようにお願いしていただけますか。はい、ありがとうございます。ではスクリーンの共有ができるようになりました。本日お話ししたいトピックスに関してですが、今スクリーン見えますでしょうか。はい、見えますか。はい、見えます。ご存知の通り CII が、施行されます。 2023年に施行されます。皆さんもすでにご承知の通り新しいことではないかというふうに思いますが、毎年毎年、厳しくなりまして、2030年には、燃費削減が、行っていかなければいけません。CII の方は2030年に向けて、加工していくことになるかと思いますが、ここで新しい出来事というのは MEPC78 のセッションが行われました。そして新しいデータ収集係数というのが決まりました。まだ細かいところは決まっておりませんけれども、計算式が非常に複雑になりました。通常の CII で使われていたものだけではなく、たくさんの補正係数なども導入されています。それぞれの、選手によって計算が非常に複雑になりまして、これによって全般的な課題が、非常に大きなものになっております。シッピング会社としてですね、でどのようにこの CII の複雑性に対応できるのかということですが、まず最初に、基本的な報告制度を、用意する必要があります。ハイクオリティのデータを収集して、これは DCS スタンダードという形で導入されておりますけれども、 DCS は CII のベースとして使われています。しかし新しい補正係数によりまして、大事なことというのは、レポーティングシステムにおいてさまざまなデータを、報告するということが必要があります。補正係数を計算するのに必要なデータも必要になります。例えば燃料商品とか目的ごと、カーゴヒーティングなのかクリーニングなのかということです。また、電気機器などにも、集めていかなければいけません。こういったことが非常に大きなチャレンジになります。これまでのレポーティングシステムで DCS のスタンダードデータで、使われていたものがより目的に、絞られて、対応していかなければいけないということになりました。そういったことで新しい補正係数というのがたくさん生まれております。それに加えましてデータの品質はレポーティングシステムにおいて必要なだけではなく、データの補正においても必要です。ステム事業では、こういったデータクオリティをコンスタントに、担保するものになります。これは、日々、戦場で集まるデータの補正をしていくものになります。それからダッシュボードもあります。例えば、CII の値に関して現状を確認できるようなもの、そして現在の状況だけではなくシミュレーションもできるようになります。例えば年末までにどのような、ところに到達しているのか、次の航海ではどのような状況になるのか、そういった、予測をもとにさまざまなシナリオのもとに、事業展開をできるようになります。また最後に自動的なインターフェースがあって検証をすることもできますし、例えばハイクオリティなデータの補正をした後には、シームレスにそれをアップロードやダウンロードをしたり、データの改良をして、このベリファイアに、それが自動的に流れるようにしていくものになります。またこのダッシュボードがどのような、仕組みになっているのかということですが、これは、このプレゼンテーションのところからソフトの方に変えまして、実際のストーム事業のソフトウェアをご覧いただきたいというふうに思います。S インサイトと言われるものになりますが、小島の方からもプレゼンで触れましたけれども、今年が CII ダッシュボード、にさまざまな、選手の、例がここにリストアップしておりますけれども、このダッシュボードによって CII の格付けが、分かりやすくなっております。基礎的なデータや CII の、トレンドも分かりますし、最も重要なことは チェンジレーティング CII の年初来からの、最初は B だったのが、それが来年の格付けとして何が予測されているのかということも一目で分かるようになります。これが上り調子なのか、ただ毎年毎年厳しくなっていきますので、格付けが悪化することが想定されますが、こういったことで自分の船が今どういう格付けなのか、来年はどういう格付けになるのか、そしていつ格付けが、次のクラスに、悪化するのかということが分かるようになります。でこちらはオーナーバルカ1と、3行目になりますけれども、 B から C に2023年には悪化することになります。これは現状のままのオペレーションを続けた場合になります。そういった時には、規制が厳しくなるので、格付けが悪化するということになります。CII の出発点としてはこういった形になります。船舶の評価を行って、詳細も確認することができます。例えば CII の、値が、時間の経過とともにどのような形で、変動してきたのか、オペレーションの条件が、いろいろ変わりますけれども、そういった中で CII は、どれくらい、変わるのか、常に、積載貨物も、重量も異なりますし、コンテナ船の場合でもそうです。より、積載量が、重くなるということで、燃費の消費も、高くなります。ですので CII が上下変動するわけです。そして赤い線というのはCII の、その船舶の要件になります。そして、例えば今年の場合にはここが、その、敷地になるわけなんです。そしてから、この青い点線もありますけれども、こちらは CII が年末に関してどのような方向に向かっているのかということが示されています。そして次回の航海のシミュレーションをもとに弾き出されています。ですのでソフトウェアを使って船舶が今後どのような形で推移するのかというシミュレーションを行うことができるようになります。次の航海の、シミュレーションを行うこともできますし、下のところに、入力が必要な、パラメータもあります。例えば航海の長さはどれくらいなのか、また不確実性要素なども入力することになりますし、船舶が使用する燃料の種類なども入力することができます。そして、アイドルタイム、などもあって、公開後の望ましい格付けに対してどのような結果になるのかということが、確認できるようになります。で、この船に関しては、メインパラメータで変更することができるのは速度です。ですから本当に 7.5 の CII に次回の航海で達成したいということであれば、この、スピードの、消費曲線などを調整するという、例えば、10.9 ノッツ以下に抑えることが必要になります。そうすると望ましい CII に、次回の公開後到達することになります。こういった形でいろいろといじることができますので、望ましい形に持っていく、ということがシミュレーションで可能になります。また年末に向けてどれくらいの格付けになるのか、どれくらいのアイドリングが必要なのか、どれくらいの航海が必要なのか、そういったことも、こういったことでシミュレーションすることで非常に貴重な、形で CII の格付けを確認することができます。で、これがまず、第一ステップになります。また同時にこの、年末に関して、方向性がどういったところに向かっているのかということが分かりますが、この、トピックスに関して我々は何ができるのかということについてです。どんな対策をとって自分の CII をコントロールすることができるのか。 それぞれの、CII に関して次の航海に向けてシミュレーションすることができますが、その結果が望ましくない場合にはどんな対策が取れるのか、例えばさまざまな、改良策を設ける必要があります。EEXIを、用いて、エンジンの改良をするとか、船舶のシステムの改良をするとか、そういったことが必要になります。ハードウェア面での対策も必要になります。今日はこのあたりは詳しくはお話ししませんけれども、全く異なる、ストーリーになりますので、ただ船のオペレーションに関してはスピードを減速させる、シミュレーションでもお話ししましたけれども、多くの場合スピードの減速というのは望ましくないわけです。ですので、減速することが常に可能なわけではないです。他に何ができるのか、ここに青で書いてあるのが最も重要なものになります。ソフトな、面から、見てますと、ストーム需要でもこういったサービスを提供しておりますけれども、最適航路を選ぶということです。スピードを減速させるのではなく、最適な、スピードにして、出力も最適な形にして、それは入力した、パラメータによりきりなわけですけれども、ある一定レベルの燃料消費量にして、望ましい、運行状況を作り出していくというものになります。そして、その航海で最適な、速度を選ぶということが、可能になります。またフリートの性能管理も必要になります。これは船舶の運航の最適化につながります。例えば燃料消費を削減する。そしてもう少し詳しくこの内容を見てみたいと思いますが、残りあと5、6分になりますが、これが、最適な、船舶航路になります。ストープ需要では2つの興味深い製品があります。1つがストラテジックパワールーティングと呼ばれるものになります。我々は、船舶の、航路を、一定の、スピードにして、一定のエンジンオペレーションを可能にしています。そうすることによって最も低い燃料消費に抑えることが可能になります。これを最初から最後まで続けることによって、もちろん、到着予定、時間に、通りに到着するということも必要なんですけれども、こういった、航路設定の、やり方もあります。また燃料最適化サービスもあります。こちらは、出力を一定にするということではなく、その他の最適化要因を検討して、燃料消費量を最小限に抑えるというものになります。また到着予定時間や、最終的な、天候などの、要因係数なども盛り込むものになります。こういうのような形で航路の予測をしたり、航路のアドバイスをする。そして A 地点から B 地点までの航路を、最も低い燃料消費で、達成することを助ける、製品になります。そして、もう一つの例になりますけれども、この、経路設定、それから他にもできることはあります。例えば、この、商用フリート性能管理によるチャーターパーティー要船契約管理になります。これは、この、要船契約の、定められた条件の下でフリート性能管理をするというものになりますが、燃料消費も、コントロールしていくというものになります。こういったことが、商業ベースで、運用するには必要なものになりますけれども、常にこれが、技術的に最適化が図れるものではありません。この要船契約においては技術的に、常に可能なものではありませんが、 これを、最も、燃料消費を最小限に抑えるためにはテクニカル面で、燃料消費削減を図る必要があります。そして、海水の中での、船の、パフォーマンスを、サイズ的な状態にしていくために、さまざまな、オペレーション上で調整することを助けるものになります。これが、技術面での、船のオペレーションを最適化を図る、ことを助けるものになります。そしてストーム需要のインサイトではさまざまなパラメータを見て評価をして一番大きな課題は何なのかということを特定することもできるわけですが、一つ我々が言っているの提供しているのがアラートサービスと呼ばれるものになります。これは我々の、サイトから日々デイリーな形で、ご提供しているものになります。どのような、課題があるのか、そして、船舶のオペレーション上の課題に関して、我々が特定して、船のオンショアのチームの方々とも連携をして何を、注意をして何を、最適化できるのかアドバイスを提供しております。そして我々はこのような経験も、培いつつコンスタントに船舶のオペレーションがより最適化が図れるようなそういった経験を積み重ねてきております。こちらに関してはあまり深くはお話しいたしませんけれども、さまざまなアラートが用意されております。商用ベースや、テクニカルな面に関してはすでにお話をしましたが、航海の実行時にどういったことができるのか、また排出量 CO2 の排出量についても、ありますし、データのクオリティに関しても我々最適化ができるような形でフリートマネジメントシステムの中には用意されております。そして船の最適化を可能にしております。100以上ものさまざまなアラートが用意されており、そういった評価を半分自動化された形にしております。そしてさまざまな、船舶タイプに対しても対応しておりますし、海運会社と一緒にパフォーマンスの、オペレーションを、最適化ができるような形にしておりますので、CII地位に関しても最適化が図れるようにしております。きちんとコントロールすることによって最適化をして CII の格付けが下がるのを防ぐことができます。そして、ソフト、面からでもできますので、ハードウェアの方の改良をそれほどせずに、改良を図ることができます。以上、私のお話ししたかったお見せしたかった内容になりますけれども、ヒントになるようなものがありましたら幸いでございます。オペレーショナルな観点から、それからフリートパフォーマンスマネジメントの観点からお話しさせていただきました。で、可能でしたら、質問もお受けしたいというふうに思います。私からは以上です。
If there is any questions, we would like to take the questions. So if there is no question, then we would like to close this presentation. Thank you very much, Theo-san, and I'd like to thank Kojima-san as well. Thank you very much, Theo. どうもありがとうございました。こちらのコンセプト皆さんに分かっていただければというふうに思います。So lastly, I would like to thank people from Submarine for all their support, and I would like to thank all the people who are participating in this seminar. Thank you very much for your attention. This is the end of our presentation today. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So now we would like to move on to the next presentation. We are going to have a presentation from Mr. Thomas Gutek from Lloyd's Register Global Maritime. He is in charge of performance service. Hans-Dick Soft. Thank you. We would like to prepare for his participation, so please wait for a while. He's going to participate from Singapore today. 皆さんこんにちは。大丈夫でしょうか？ありがとうございます。はい、それではですね、このプレゼンテーションから今抜けますね。皆さんこんにちは。今日はクラウドベースのフリートマネジメントのソリューションについてお話をします。私はトーマス・グテックと思います。ロイドレジスタグローバルマリタイパフォーマンスサービスで仕事をしております。今日はデータマネジメントのお話をしたいと思います。フリートマネージャー、テクニカルマネージャーなどについてのお話となります。それでは私のバックグラウンドについて少しお話をさせていただければと思います。クラウドフリートマネージャーを開発していた会社におりまして、今ドイツのハンブルクで、この私どもの会社2009年に設立されました。そしてその後で2017年にロイドレジスターの方に吸収されました。効率的な情報の管理ということを考えますと、みんなにとって一番大事なのはどういうふうにデータを探すのかということかと思います。そしてほとんどの方は多分データというのは21世紀のオイルであると石油であるというふうに考えるかと思います。もっとですねデータをうまく管理する、これがとても大切な点になってきます。そして情報ですけれども、それに関しては隠れたコストがあります。必要なデータがどれだけ簡単に探せるかということによって実はですね社員の方が自分が必要なデータを探すのにすごく時間をかけているということが分かっております。これを減らすことができれば経費削減につながるということです。でそれがかなりの金額となっております。こちらに一つ例がありますけれども、これヨーロッパの例なんですけれども、大体ですねその課長クラスの供与を考えたときにどれだけの時間をデータを探すのに使っているのか、1日2時間ぐらい情報を探している、これを半分ぐらいに節約することができれば経費の削減にもつながるということになります。そしてそれだけではなく、情報が見つけられないというような状況になった場合にほとんどの場合、この追加の作業が出てくるわけですね。そして間違った判断になっている。そしてそれによって人々はやる気をなくしてしまいます。自分たちが探したいものが見つけられないということになりますと、非常にですねやる気が失われています。で開示産業を見ますと、情報管理は Excel、ワード、E メールなどで行われていて、データが分断されていて、そしていろんなところに断片化しているということが見られます。そして情報がいろんなところにコピーされています。ですから例えばデータが欲しい形で持った時に後で見たいときにその E メールを見て E メールに例えば入っているデータを見ても、その E メールに入っているデータが最新のデータかどうかを確認する方法がありません。ではどうすればよろしいんでしょうか。会社の全体像を見る方法が必要です。そしてデータも簡単に見つけられることが必要です。そしてこれについてどういうふうに私たちが対応したかといいますと、簡単にですね社員の方たちが情報にアクセスできるE メールを使ったりしなくても、誰かに話しかけたりしなくても分かるようにするようにしなくてはいけないと思います。でソリューションはポータルとして提供されます。誰でも簡単にアクセスすることができます。イントラネットとしていつでも もですね、例えば皆さんの同僚がオフィスにいるかどうかというところを確認することができます。そしてフリートのセクションがありますので、自分が興味のある船舶を選んで、そしてそう言いますと、船に関する情報が簡単に見ることができるようになっております。こちらが私たちの設計、プリンシプルとなっておりまして、フラグを使うということではなくて、簡単にですね、全体像が皆さんに見えるような形にしたいと思っております。で、こちらのスクリーンショットの方を見てみますと、例えばスケジュールですとか、誰が乗っているのかとか、どこに今いる船がいるのかというような情報が簡単に把握できるようになるということが分かるかと思います。ですから自分がその必要なものがすべてシステムの中で簡単にアクセスできるということになります。で、この情報ですけれども、リードオンリーという形で提供されていますというのは皆さんが共有するのですね。ですから情報に対して何か変更を加えることがすることはできないということです。ですから簡単に例えば船のですねスケジュールですからとか、あるいはその認定はどういうものを歌っているのか、でコミュニケーションについてとか、メンテナンスですとか、そういうものをポータルで簡単に見ることができます。誰にも聞かなくてもそのシステムを使うことでそういう情報をすべて見ることができるわけです。そして同じような方針をですね、こちらのワールドワイドモジュールでも導入しております。簡単に情報を手に入れることができます。誰が乗っているのか、スケジュールとか、そういう情報をですね簡単に見つけることができるということになります。ですからこのシステムの考え方としては、適切な情報を適切な時に適切な方に提供するということです。ですからあまりいろいろと頑張らなくても、複雑なシステムを使わなくても情報を手に入れることができる。そしてチームとしてみんなで仕事ができるということです。そしてもう一つこの船舶事業者としてはいろいろな情報を交換する必要があります。で、社内でも交換しなくてはいけませんし、エージェントあるいは船舶との通信もあります。で、これは E メールを使ってやっているということになりますと、例えば会社の中の部門を見ておりますと、もしかしたら通信あるいは情報のやり取りについて改善できる部分があるかもしれません。ただ船舶が関わってくるということで、どういうようなデータがあるのか、それ何が起こるのかちょっと分かりにくくなっているところがあるかと思います。ですからこちらに図もありますけれども、本当にですねここのところを全部まとめていくというのは非常に難しいことになります。ですからパートナーがいろいろなところにいて、そしていろいろな時間帯で仕事をしているということですね。ですからE メールで送って、簡単な情報でしたらいいんですけれども、構造化されたデータということになりますと非常に難しい、データのオーバーロードという状況になってしまって、一体何がどこにあるのかというところが誰も分からなくなってしまうというような状況になります。ですから適切なクラウドシステムで全ての情報を中に入れて、誰でも簡単に情報を見つけられるようにするということが非常に大切になってまいります。そのために私たちは専用のクライアントを作りました。これは本船上に入れることもできます。ほとんどの船がですね本当にオフラインでもできる使えるような完璧なコミュニケーションのソリューションというものがないということなので、これを用意するということは非常に難しいですね。その船舶に関する情報をリアルタイムでアップデートする、これは難しいです。でもこれをバックグラウンドで作業を進めるということができるようになります。ですから半日ぐらいでですね全ての船舶に関する情報をアップデートすることができます。また外部の方たちとやり取りをするということであれば、クラウドを使ってポータルで簡単にですねそのパートナーとやり取りをすることができます。ですから船舶上に誰か技師を送って、そして通信など、あるいはその船舶のスケジュールなどをできますと、いろいろ情報がもうインターネット上で見れますので、それで確認の電話を5分おきに入れるということをしなくても済むようになります。あとブラウザ、タブレット、電話などありますけれども、いろんなものを使ってアクセスできますので、皆さんが協力するために使う時間というものを削減することができます。またシステムですけれども、こちら少しパートナーの名前が出ておりますけれども、私たちのオープンソリューションということで、皆さんが好きなソフトを統合することができます。またパブリック API ということで、提供しておりますので、私たちが関与しなくても皆さんが API にアクセスできるようにすれば、そのサードパーティーの方でですね統合することができるようになっております。またこちらの クラウドフリートマネージャーですけれども、情報の一元化された情報源という形になります。そしてもう一つ私が申し上げたいのは、これ本当に大事なことだと思うんですけれども、未来に向けた金の鉱脈というふうに考えていただければと思いますけれども、データのクオリティを見てますと非常にですね旧式な時代遅れのシステムがまだ残っています。で特にですね船舶上にはそういうものが残ってるんですね。よく言うんですけれども、何年も前になりますけれども、チーフエンジニアの方と話をしたんですね。そしてプラントメンテナンスシステム、私たちが開発しているものをどうやって使っていますかと、例えばこれから数週間でやらなくちゃいけない大事な仕事を教えてくれますかというふうに言ったんですね。でシステムをクリックして10分から15分ぐらいして申し訳ないんですけれども、3ヶ月しかまだ戦場に乗ってないのでこのシステムの使い方がわからないと言われたんですね。3ヶ月も経ってるんですよ。3ヶ月も経ってるのに一番大切なことができない状態だったわけですね。ですからここの部分が非常に大きな課題になります。もし複雑なソリューションで使うことが難しければ本当にですねちゃんと使ってもらうということ自体が難しくなります。でうまく使えないと皆さんフラストレーションを感じて、それでうまくいかなくなっていく、もうシステム使えなくなってしまうというようなこともありえます。そうするとシステム信頼性が失われます。でコンピューターシステム、数年前にですね iPhone が導入されました。そこで大きな変革がありました。その前は皆さん本当にですね非常に複雑なので使いたくないという方がたくさんいたかと思います。でもアップルの努力で、誰でも使えるようになりました。私の親でもそのスマートフォンでいろいろなことをできます。別に iPhone のトレーニングを受けたわけじゃないのに使いこなすことができます。でこの同じ考え方を私どもは自分たちのソフトウェアに適用しました。ですからデザインに関しましても非常にですね使いやすいということを意識して作りました。そしてまたモバイルのアプリもいろいろ作っておりまして、でこちらのものが一つの例になりますけれども、例えばですねその船にデジタルカメラを持ってその主任の方が行って、そしていろいろな写真を撮ったりとかメモを取ったりします。そしてホテルに戻って多分疲れてちょっと酒を飲んで帰ってくるとオフィスに行って、それからそのワードの文書で報告書をまとめるわけですね。でメモなどを見ながら、レポートまとめるわけですけれども、ちょっと時間がかかりすぎですよね。ですからすごく大事な情報が入っていてもそれがわからないということもありえます。ですからモバイルのアプリを使いまして、乗る前にですね質問を用意しておいて、そしてモバイルのアプリを使ってすべてのその検査をやって、そして降りるときにはもうすでに報告書が出来上がっているというような形になっております。ですからこれは iOS それから Android 上でも使うことができます。ですからデバイスはどれを使っても大丈夫です。基本的にシステムはオフラインで使うこともできます。ですから常に接続していなくてはいけないということはありません。自分が作りたいレポートを選ぶだけでいいです。そして質問がそうしますとその会社の使っているその質問票が出てきますので、その質問票に答えていて、そして写真なども添付して、そして自分が気づいたことについてもメモを取ることもできますし、ボイスメッセージを記録することもできます。で私たちが分かったのは、これによってすごくですね時間が節約できるということが分かりました。その検査員の方たちにとっては100ぐらいの会社で、例えば200席ぐらいでこちらのアプリを使って検査をやっていただいたんですけれども、本当にですねこれはいろいろな会社が直面している問題を解決するようなアプリとなりました。またこれによってどれだけ費用が削減されるかというところを見ていきますと、どれだけの時間節約しましたかという聞きますと、大体 30% ぐらい時間削減につながったということです。つまり報告書が自動的に作られるので、そのための時間を削減することができました。ただしもしどなたか実際にその場所にいて、いる方を送って、そして検査をしますと、標準的なその検査の方法というのが決まっていれば、でこちらとこちらとこちらとこちらを確認すればいいですよということが決められれば、フリーランスの方に頼むことができます。ですからあるいはその乗員の方で、乗組員の方でですね信頼できる方がいれば、その方に頼むということも可能になります。そうするとさらに削減できるわけですね。で複数のモジュールがありまして、全体のプロセス、テクニカルマネージャーとか、あるいは船主が必要なものが入っております。でメンテナンスとか 乗組員あるいはいろんな手順ですとか文書のですね管理ですとかそういうものがすべて入ったものとなっております。で品質などに関するものもあります。で私たちはお客様といろいろと話をして一体どういうような問題を抱えているのかということを伺いました。そしてその文書がですねバラバラになっているところがあると。例えばドッキングをするときにもいろいろな入力しなくちゃいけないでも通常はですね前のデータをコピーするだけということがありました。ですから私たちが何をしたかと言いますといろいろなポイントがシステムがありますけれども例えばデファクトのレポートですとかメンテナンスシステムの報告これドッキングのところに直接データを入れるわけですけれども私たちはチェンジリクエストについては非常にですね力を入れております。ここで非常にですね船舶の事業者がお金を失ってしまう。でドッキングしてそしていろいろなものが、値段が出てきてでも例えばこれはどうですかとかいうふうに言うわけですね。そうすると追加のものそれに対してすごく高額なお金が請求されることがあります。ですからこれがコストコントロールをするということが非常にですね大事ですね。実際のそのドックではなくてですね皆さんがそのコストをコントロールできるようにするという形になっております。それからそれ以外にもですねケーススタディを学生とやっておりまして私たちのその本社ハンブルグにあるんですけれどもこちらのシステムを見せてどういうような技術ができるのかと使えるのかで非常にですね楽しい時間になります。学生がですねホログラフのイマージェンシーセンターというものを作ってくれました。そしてその中にいろいろな情報をですね入れてくれたんですね。そのシステムの中に投球できるような情報。そうしますと一体何が行われているのか周りのものがですねホログラムを使って確認できるというような形になりました。ですからこちらのシステムは世界的に受け入れられております。日本に関しましてもお客様に提供できるようにしておりまして非常にですね市場によく受け入れられているというふうに感じております。ですから事業者の船舶事業者の方々たちも導入したいという方がたくさんいます。より効率的なデジタルのプロセスに変えていきたいというふうに思っているお客様がたくさんいるということで、より効率的に競争の激しい中でやっていきたいという意識を持った方が多いようです。それでは以上なんですがどなたかご質問ある方いらっしゃいますでしょうか。
Do you have any questions? We can entertain some questions. Not so many, but any questions? Well, even after the end of the seminar, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact the Secretariat. Mr. Gutek Thomas, thank you very much for your presentation. Please give him a big round of applause. Next presentation is from JWA, Japan Weather Association, by Ms. Minayo Hata. This presentation will be done by Ms. Minayo Hata of Social Disaster Prevention Traffic Solution Division of JWA, Japan Welfare Association, as the simultaneous interpretation service will be provided by Ms. Trones Catalina, belonging to the same division of the JWA. As soon as she is ready, we are going to hear her presentation.
査解析や情報提供を行ってきました。現在、培ってきた知見を生かし、気象災害や気候変動問題、IT 技術の進化など、世の中の状況が大きく変化する中、サイドンの強みである調査解析技術と、リアルタイムに情報を提供できる技術を合わせて提供しています。そしてこれから私たちは、皆様と共に、自然界と調和した社会の創生を目指し、未来を切り開いてまいります。
Japan Weather Association offers a variety of services that makes use of survey analysis and information provision. The port and shipping groups to which we belong develop Polaris as a weather and sea data service for the maritime industry. Here is a short video about Polaris.
続いてこちらのサービスプロモーション動画をご覧ください。私たち日本気象協会は気象解消データを再解析する独自技術を生かし、海事産業向けサービスとしてポラリスを開発しました。ポラリスは全球の詳細な気象解消データを構築した巨大なデータベースによる情報提供と、これを用いた公開支援サービスです。過去データから将来の予測データまで、海事産業の幅広いニーズに対応した3つのサービスから構成されています。ポラリスフォーキャストでは、全球の気象解消予測データを、ポラリスナビゲーションでは、偏負最小となる公開計画支援サービスを、ポラリスハイドキャストでは、再解析した気象解消水産データを航路に紐付けて提供します。これらのデータは、メール、FTP、そして Web API と、さまざまな方式での提供が可能です。国際海運では、今世紀中のなるべく早期に GHG ゼロ排出を目指すべく、GHG 削減戦略が議論され活発化しています。主な対策としては、新造船の燃費規制強化、運航やオペレーションの効率化、省エネ技術開発、ゼロ炭素燃料の導入、AI、ビッグデータの活用などが挙げられます。その実効性を高める一つの鍵が、船舶モニタリングデータと船舶が実際に受ける外力、つまり気象解消情報です。しかし、気象解消の観測値は現状では十分に得られているとは言えない状況にあり、精度の良い気象解消データの入手が課題となっています。ポラリスでは、この課題解決に必要なデータをはじめ、さまざまな情報を提供いたします。ポラリスフォーキャストは、高解像度かつ高精度な気象解消予測を航海中の船舶に提供します。船上のパソコンにアプリをインストールするだけで簡単にご利用いただけます。それでは実際の画面を見てみましょう。任意のエリアを選択し、さらにデータメッシュや予測日数も選択できるので、必要最小限のデータを取得することができます。データの要素は風、波、海上流。全球エリアでは最大30日の予測を提供できます。 航路データに紐付けて提供する Web API サービスです。実績航路上の気象解消データを用いることで、船舶の性能評価、メンテナンスへの活用、船体付加物の効果検証などを行うことができます。また、計画航路上の気象解消データからは、運航効率、コストの最適化、船舶設計の最適化などを実現できます。それでは、実際の画面を見てみましょう。ID、パスワードでログインいただき、対象となる航路データを読み込み、必要な要素を指定していただくだけで、簡単にご利用いただけます。データは最小時間間隔10分、最短距離間隔20メートルまで、航路の緯度、経度、日時に合わせて時空間内総処理を行った結果を提供します。データは数値とともにグラフとして画面上でもご覧いただけます。また、CSV もしくは JSON ファイルとしてもダウンロード可能です。このように、必要な時に必要なだけデータを取得いただけますので、皆様の気象解消データサーバーとしてご活用ください。ポラリスでは、この2022年秋には、ポラリスレポートサービスの追加を予定しています。高精度、高解像度の気象解消情報と運航データを用い、船舶の評価を行います。2023年から開始する新たな CO2 排出規制、EEXI や CII にも対応した日本気象協会のコンサル技術を生かしたサービスです。日本気象協会は、気象解消コンサルタントとして、今後も海洋ビッグデータの利用提案を行ってまいります。例えば、ポラリスのデータと船舶 IoT データを組み合わせることによる運航効率化や船舶の付加価値の向上、閣僚機器との連携で安全な航海支援などを通じ、選ばれる船をサポートしてまいります。また、燃料消費量削減や船舶から排出される CO2 削減に貢献することで、持続可能な社会の構築、ESG に資することを目指します。
Hello and welcome to this presentation about Polaris Report, a service by Japan Weather Association. My name is Mina Yohata and I'm from the Social and Disaster Management Department in Japan Weather Association. For this presentation, I will go over these three topics: an introduction to Japan Weather Association, current trend in the maritime industry, and at the end, an introduction to Polaris Report. First, let me explain a little bit about Japan Weather Association. The Japan Weather Association was established in 1950 as the first weather association with permission from the Japanese Ministry of Transport. Over the years, the company expanded from doing weather forecasting over the telephone to forecasting and commentary services for NHK, to now having available forecasts on a variety of platforms. As a part of the forecasting and information services, these include specialized forecasts specified for highway operation, construction projects, etc. Japan Weather Association has also participated in a number of important weather research projects and a variety of weather-related disaster prevention projects. Then later on also expanded into natural energy sources, consulting on, for example, solar and wind power projects. The company's main four parts are social and disaster management, environment and energy, media and consumer services, and lastly, information service departments. The Social and Disaster Management Department provides information for disaster prevention and risk avoidance, where I am part of services related to the weather risk in transport and logistics on sea. The Japan Weather Association has participated in global projects and research studies since 1983 in countries all over the world. The main categories for these international projects has been disaster prevention, energy, environment, transportation and weather forecasting. The service I will introduce today is one of the new contributions to the global market, Polaris, which focuses on maritime industry worldwide. The Japan Weather Association provides the weather and ocean meteorological information service, Polaris, for the maritime industry. We provide the service via API so that highly accurate ocean geographic information can be used in almost every grid on the map, regardless of location and medium. Or the user can utilize the system as a Met Ocean data service. The four Polaris services we have developed so far are forecast, navigation, hindcast, and report. Polaris forecast and navigation are on-board applications that support safe and economical navigation, and can also be used for navigational planning on other maritime equipment through API and data sharing. Polaris Hindcast is a weather database with the most reliable Met Ocean data, which has been reanalyzed to document the most accurate data, used to categorize ocean geographic regions and to evaluate the ship's performance on actual seas. The data is so widely used in the fields of port design and offshore wind energy power. In addition to these services, we launched a new service this spring, Polaris Report, which I will come back to later on in this presentation. Now, a brief look at some recent trends in the maritime industry. A major trend these days is the revised GHG reduction strategy starting next year in 2023, with the launch of EEXI and CII in the same year. With these strategies, the goal is to reduce CO2 emissions by more than 40% by 2030, comparable with the levels found back in 2008. This is the first step towards zero emissions by the end of this century. But first, let us have a look on the official regulations. SEEMP is a long-term ship operational plan to reduce emissions and increase efficiency and performance. Then we have EEDI, which focuses on how new ships should be built to reduce emissions in the future, while EEXI regulates how old ships should be reformed to achieve the same fuel performance as newly built ships. With CII is where Japan Weather Association can be of more help, Carbon Intensity Indicator, a fuel performance rating system. This is a measurement to calculate the usage, how to reduce fuel, and how to make the voyage more environmental friendly. They'll also reduce the cost on fuel at the same time. In order to adapt to these new regulations, digital transformation, DX, such as data utilization and data visualization, will increase in importance. In this digital era, we need to cooperate so we can get the best data and results. The ships on sea are now equipped with sensors to measure the ship's movement, productivity, efficiency, weather conditions, etc. While having all these sensors and data can give you a great insight in how to improve your whole operation, the more raw data you have, the more time for analyzing and calculations for the crew on board and onshore is necessary. Then on the other side, Japan Weather Association has both the resources and programs to deal with large amount of data. By using weather data, we can compare the weather to the performance, and then the reports and analysis will get the focus on the actual ship performance on sea with less variables. This will make it easier to increase the ship's operational efficiency and performance. With the recent developments in monitoring technology, the progresses in digitalization, improvements in the communication environment, and expansion of big data collection services using cloud storage, digitalization technologies surrounding the maritime industry is advancing rapidly. With this in mind, we started cooperating with Inmarsat, a British satellite communication company, and their service Fleet Data. Now for our last topic of today, an introduction to our new service, Polaris Report. First, I would like to introduce Fleet Data, an IoT solution product by Inmarsat. Fleet Data helps ship owners and managers take control of their vessels' data and allow access to the full potential of IoT and vessel performance application. Sensor data from onboard equipment and VDR is collected and securely transferred to a central cloud-based database using its own dedicated bandwidth, which can then be accessed via secure APIs. Fleet Data has short sampling intervals, and a wide variety of information can be collected. By combining these data with a highly accurate and highly resolution meteorological and oceanographic data from Japan Weather Association, the various analyses such as fuel efficiency evaluation, evaluation of energy saving effect, performance evaluation, and ship maintenance, accident investigation can all be performed. This will allow us to assist in evaluation report for the CII rating system, which we explained briefly early on in the presentation. Now moving on to what Polaris Report is. Polaris Report provides evaluation and analysis results using the ship's operational data and meteorological data. Polaris Report is a web dashboard format which can be viewed on board as well as onshore as long as communication connection is established. When you subscribe to Fleet Data, you can also use Inmarsat's communication service, allowing you to view the data comfortably on board an ocean-going vessel. Now on your left side of the dashboard, the button on top will take you to the forecast map. The next one is for the early evaluation report, while the last button is where the PDF file for analysis, report, and evaluation will be stored. In addition to analyzing and reporting the results of the monitored data, Polaris Report also includes forecast information connected to Polaris Forecast. Here, as you can see on the screen, you can access the Polaris Forecast weather and ocean forecast information. Upon access, this forecast information is first displayed. By clicking the upper right tab, you can change between weather criteria according to what you deem the most important at the moment or most interesting for that part. For global forecast, we have ocean winds, significant waves, wind sea, swell, and ocean currents, all displayed in different colors for each class. The ocean current information is based on Jamstack forecast, and these have an incredible track record for being accurate around the world. You can also choose whether to display arrows indicating directions and you can also choose whether to display arrows indicating direction and specific predicted values on the distribution map. In addition, by displaying the air pressure in contours, you can refer to the location of low and high pressure areas, as well as areas with crowded isobar where strong winds are likely to occur. Then, when a tropical disturbance such as typhoon or a hurricane is developing, the forecast path and intensity will be displayed clearly. Now the background map is compatible with Google Maps, OpenStreetMap, and a simple white map. The time distribution changes over time, and you can advance the time by moving like a movie by pressing the play button. Global forecast can be displayed up to 30 days in advance. And by taking the Kuroshio current and typhoons into account, the forecasts around Japan These forecasts are especially high quality. As the office and the ship's crew share the same weather information, it closes the distance in the decision making since both parties can consider the same meteorological data at the same time, increasing a unified understanding of the voyage planning process. Now moving on from weather forecasting, here is an example analysis. The performance curve can be created in calm water, high waves and in different ocean regions. This allows us to understand the ship performance on actual seas, the changes over time and differences depending on the sea areas. The result can be compared not only to the vessel in question but also to its sister vessel, which can then assist in reviewing an operational plan as a whole. For analysis, it is essential to use meta-ocean data of the actual sea on the time of the ship's voyage, then combining this with highly accurate historical, meteorological and ocean geographic data from Japan Weather Association's Polaris Hindcast. If fuel flows rates are collected through the fleet data service, a fuel consumption evaluation can also be performed. We will submit a report verifying fuel consumption and CII calculations for each voyage, which can also be used to assist in reporting for the CII rating system. The CII rating can then be planned out, and by taking measures early, you can steadily increase your grade to reach the sufficient goals on a long-term plan. So while not a typical conclusion, Polaris Report is a new service still, so we are offering a free trial so you can see for yourself how this service could help you reduce emissions. We are continuously working on improving our dashboard to create a better service. Feel free to contact us if you have any questions or inquiry regarding any of our services. We also recommend that you check out the Inmarsat service page if you're not already familiar with the services. Thank you very much for your time.
Ms. Hata from Japan Weather Association, thank you very much. You may have questions, but this time we like to refrain from receiving questions. But at the very end, if you have any questions, please contact the Secretariat. Now, we are going to close the first half of the seminar, and at the Café de Polaris, we like to offer some coffee and some light snacks kindly offered by Japan Weather Association. And second half of the session will be starting from 3:55 p.m. So please enjoy the cafe time. Thank you very much.
It is 3:55 now, so we would like to start a second part of today's session. The first presentation in the second part of the session is from Mr. Tabata from Imasat. Mr. Tabata, the floor is yours. Please wait until he is prepared. Thank you very much for your introduction, Ms. Yoshida. My name is Tabata from Imasat. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So we are the provider of maritime satellite service, and we have been providing this service for many years now. Today, the title of the presentation is High-Speed, High-Capacity Communication Leading the Age of Digitalization. In this age of digitalization, I think the communication plays a vital part. So as a provider, it's delivering connectivity. I would like to talk about how we can be of use to our customers in this shift to digitalization. This is the topics I'm going to cover today. I will go one by one. So I will talk about the outline of the fleet service, the Fleet Express that we are providing right now. And I'd like to talk about the features of Fleet Express and talk about the difference compared to other VSAT and IoT and Fleet Hotspot service, which is very effective in avoiding the traffic congestion. And I would also like to talk about the case study of our customers, and then I will talk about the next generation service. First of all, I'd like to talk about the Inmarsat. So I would like to briefly explain Inmarsat to you. Inmarsat was established in 1979 as an international organization. So that was as the start of our company. The objective of this international organization was to provide SATCOM service for the safety of the vessels. And the motto or the philosophy of Inmarsat is always safety. It is for more than 40 years now since we were established, but we are always committed to the safety and quality of the communication. And actually, this is the pride of Inmarsat. And I think this is a part that we are different from other communication service providers. And regarding the communication satellites that we are using, we own all the satellites. And we are not only owning the satellites, but also the ground terrestrial stations as well. So by owning all those equipment, we are able to provide high quality communication and stable communication. And this is also our pride as well. We have more than 40, we have offices and operation centers in more than 40 locations around the world, and we have many affiliated partners around the world. And this enables us to provide a global service and global support as well. So starting from Inmarsat A, FB, and Fleet Express, we are now becoming a byword of SATCOM for the maritime industry, and we are used by many customers. So I would like to now talk about Fleet Express, our latest communication service. There are many people who are already aware of this, but I would like to briefly walk you through our service. And this is a simple diagram, and it says GX. This is a K-band VSAT service, and the FB, which is the conventional communication network. This is combined together and is provided as a package, and that is the Fleet Express. So the main communication will be using a Global Express, which is a VSAT service, which is high capacity, high speed. But if there is any failures regarding signaling of GX, you can always switch over to FB. So this is a package service, and as it is a package, the GX and FB, you can utilize unlimited amount of data in both bandwidth. So that is a Fleet Express. This is our coverage. So you can see the white part is VSAT or Global Express. So it is global, and we have covered almost all the major routes. And the other parts are covered using FB. So that is Fleet Express, and I would like to talk about the features and also the comparison with other VSAT services. There are 4 major characteristics regarding Fleet Express. We are using our own satellite, and we are providing global coverage. As I have mentioned in the beginning, we are using our own satellites and our own terrestrial stations. So we are able to provide a stable communication. So in the land facilities or on vessels or satellites, we are able to provide a stable communication. And regarding the coverage, even just by using VSAT, it is almost global coverage. So you can connect any area in the world. And next, we also combined FB as well, also together with VSAT, and you can use it as much as you want. So in some cases, you may have some connection issues regarding VSAT, and you need to change over to the backup service, but then the backup service is maybe charged by the usage, so you need to pay a lot of money for the backup. That wouldn't happen in our case. And regarding the communication speed, even if it is the most cheapest plan, the maximum is 2 megabit per second, so it's a high-speed connection. And fourth part I'd like to mention is regarding the bandwidth. The bandwidth is provided for business and for crew and onboard data monitoring. So regarding the usage of the communication, we will have different channels for each usage. So, for example, the crew on board may use private internet service. So if there are many people who are using the internet, then you may have slow emails or monitoring data cannot be transmitted. But that wouldn't happen if you use our Fleet Express service. So you can feel confident when you use our service. And if you look at these items, maybe you think it is obvious to have such features as a communication service, but that is not the case. So this is something that can be provided because it is Fleet Express. And I think many of you are aware of this, but the assumption here is that the VSAT service actually is totally different in terms of services provided according to the provider. So I have shown you the Fleet Express service and the coverage. But in other providers, it may be totally different because the satellites that is being used is totally different. The coverage area may be totally different, and the communication speed may be totally different. And backup, whether it is included or not. So this is totally different. So if you use different provider, what is provided as service is totally different. In the age of digitalization, communication is a vital part. And when you choose the service, I think in the case of FB, you may be just be looking at the fee and then compare. But that doesn't is not enough because what is provided is different. I think what is important here is to look at what is provided as a service. So when you think about digitalization or introducing more IT, I think there are some aims or some objectives that you would like to achieve. There are many things you would like to do, and you need to make sure that the communication services will enable you to do this. Does the communication service have such specifications? It's something you need to confirm. So whether the communication service is sufficient to support what you would like to achieve. So if you consider from such a perspective, there are some comments actually you have from the users of other companies have VSAT. So, for example, the coverage was narrow, so they weren't really aware when they entered into the contract, but they often get out of coverage, and sometimes the connection is disconnected. And in the case of Fleet Express, the coverage is global coverage, and the communication quality is very stable because we use our own satellites. And if you use other plans, the providers, and you need to have separate contract for FB or Iridium. So in some cases, when you use the backup very often in a month, then the cost will surge. But in Fleet Express, that would never happen because it includes a backup line channel as well. And regarding the communication speed, according to the VSAT, the maximum can be like 256 kilobit per second or 512 kilobit per second. So due to this slow speed, you would not be able to do what you want. That can happen quite often. But if you use Fleet Express, even if the plan is the lowest price plan, it is high speed and it is very stable. And if multiple members on board, if the multiple crew starts using internet, you wouldn't have any problems regarding your business communication because we can provide different bandwidth. So in the age of digitalization, what is required for the communication is to have some specifications that will enable you to do what you want. So that is what I would like you to consider. So what I want to mention specifically is a stable communication quality where you can connect anytime, anywhere, and you have sufficient communication speed, and you don't have to worry about the increase of the cost just because you have to use backup many times. So you can have a peace of mind using as much as you like, and the bandwidth for the business and bandwidth for crew would not be impacting each other, and you can use the communication with confidence. So all these conditions can only be met by Fleet Express in the current market. So in the case of the digitalization age, I think this is very important, and I think I'm very confident that we can be of use to you. So next, I'd like to talk about IoT.
So the service is called Fleet Data, and Japan Weather Association also talked about our service. Thank you very much for mentioning that. And this is the optional service of Fleet Express, realizing the IoT in an easy manner. Simply put, the service automatically collects the data from onboard VDR and other devices. So, using various machinery data is automatically collected and automatically transmits it to shore via Fleet Express, and a dedicated portal page is provided for the onshore office where the transmitted data can be viewed at any time. If you are trying to you need to talk with various manufacturers to install different equipment and sensors, but with Fleet Express, you can use the communication lines, and you can also have the Fleet Data as the optional platform for collecting vessel data. So this is simply put, this is a simple diagram. Data is transmitted from the ship's VDR to the Fleet Express via a dedicated Fleet Data concentrator and then sent to a server on shore. The transmitted data is stored on a server ashore, and the data can be viewed on a dedicated website from the office ashore. And this is how data appears in a graph format or map format. Very easy to look at this. And when you are manipulating the data on board, which is not necessary, everything is done automatically, then from ashore you can also have access to this data. Let me talk more details. And not only viewing the data transmitted, you can also use the data for other purposes and for analysis. And we have a large number of the partners that we work with. We call them as CAP, Certified Application Providers, and we can also refer them to you as necessary. For example, if you are interested in reducing the fuel consumption, then we can introduce a certain service of the certain company. If we are interested in checking the CO2 emissions, then we can introduce a different company's specific services. But if you want to use the services of these companies, you may be wondering, can't I just sign up for each of them individually and directly without assigning for fleet data? It is possible for you to do it, but that's a different story. If you use fleet data, there is its own advantages. First advantage. This is that we will have a dedicated communication pipe for fleet data. So normally in the Fleet Express, when you are using the communication service, then you have maximum megabps communication plan. And within this framework, you have to engage in operational email, crew internet services, and various communications sent from the vessels that needs to be shared within the given bandwidths. So if there is a massive usage by the crew or the operation is using a large amount of the cloud, it will slow the transmission speed because there is only one line, but one lane, but the number of cars will be going through at the same time. However, fleet data provides a dedicated communication pipe. Therefore, with the 2 megabyte per second pipe, you will have a dedicated pipe for transmitting the data. So whatever the data, you can have always stable fleet data transmission. So that is the advantage, biggest advantage of using fleet data. And the second data, the advantage is a little bit more complex when it comes to collections and storage of data and the technician costs, such overlapping costs. And this diagram here shows the case without using fleet data. For instance, in a certain vessels, they signed a contract for reducing the fuel consumption without signing for fleet data. And say this company you signed contract with is company A. Then for company A's sensor and equipment needs to be purchased from company A. So you need to install company A's product. Therefore, company A dispatches the technician from their company, and the data is stored on company A's servers. And this vessel may want to use other services, for example, for checking the CO2 emissions from company B. Then company B is asking for company B's sensor to be installed. Therefore, you need to purchase the equipment from company B, and the company B dispatches a technician to install the equipment, and the data available is stored on a company B's server. So So the technicians and the equipment installation and the server, data server. When you're using different services, you need to have multiple redundant services from different companies. That is a waste. But in the case of fleet data, you can eliminate everything. Everything will be integrated. So company A, company B, company C's services. How much services you would use? The equipment you need to install is that is compatible with the fleet data. Therefore, fleet data technician needs to be dispatched only once, and the vessel data stored in the fleet data server. And this would be distributed through API as introduced by earlier speaker from Imasat. So you will have a single technician and a single equipment and a single data storage server. And you need only a dedicated communication pipe. So all of the hurdles that you have experienced before can be eliminated. So in summary, by using fleet data, all of the necessary redundancies can be eliminated and can be centralized. And then you will also have the dedicated communication line for stable data transmission. So Fleet Express as the communication line, and as a platform for capturing data, we have fleet data. So by combining the usage of the two, we can make a great contribution to your vessel operation. Next, from a different angle, I'd like to also talk about the fleet hotspot service as a way of avoiding congestion on the communication lines. I talk with many ship companies, and we wanted to provide the service for improving the efficiency of the operation with the introduction of the digitalization. And the communication speed can be a bottleneck. They say they are trying various ideas and measures, or using other cloud or sharing large files and CCTV and monitoring from ashore. They like to try many things. However, you can't really get things functioning very well. VSAT communication plan is slow in the communication speed. However, if you even when you upgrade the contract, there is much improvements. Maybe with a large number of the crews is taking up a large portion of the bandwidth. So this is what we are hearing from the ship companies. This is where fleet hotspot comes in. And this is an internet service for crew available as an option for Fleet Express. And let me explain this. Aboard the vessels, it is like a hotel Wi-Fi, but you log in as an individual crew member when you use it. And depending on the subscription plan, a certain amount of fee vouchers will be given to the crew, and any usage beyond the 3 minutes will be paid for by the crew members on board and settled on the spot. Therefore, the onshore office do not have to go through tasks associated with this individual personal usage by crew. However, apart from the Fleet Express subscription plan on the vessel, we will prepare a separate communication pipe for this fleet hotspot. So this is the biggest strength of the Fleet Express. So a simple illustration of this is shown in the diagram below. So normally for Fleet Express, the communication plan you sign is a maximum 2 megabps, then 2 megabps communication pipe. Both business and crew use are shared by everyone. Naturally, if several crew members are using the internet at the same time, it is inevitable that the business communication will be slower. Therefore, remote access can be suspended, or you can't really watch the TV because this is taken by crew usage. However, Fleet Hotspot, however, provides a completely separate communication pipe for crew. So, as you may notice, this means that the original communication pipe for your Fleet Express subscription, for example, a 2 megabps plan, can be used exclusively for your business. So, this Fleet Hotspot service is designed for crew, but its benefits are most apparent in business operation. So all of the businesses that has been slowed down because of the usage by crew members on a personal basis can be improved significantly. In the age of digitalization, if you want to make the best use of telecommunications in your business, Fleet Hotspot is a great way to improve the environment for communication. So next, I would like to present a case study. So, Toei Reefer Line's case, Japanese customer. Japanese customers are rather shy, so it is very difficult to accumulate a Japanese case study. But fortunately, Toei Reefer Line was very kind to give permission to share their use case. They has been promoting digitalization and IT and the use of communications in ship management and operations for the past few years. With their permission, I'd like to introduce what they are doing, such as VPN between ship and shore and remote access to onboard PCs from shore-based offices. And there are multiple CCTVs on board for monitoring from land and ship-to-shore cloud computing, and the self-developed crew management system that can be accessed bilaterally from on board the vessel and from ashore. And Fleet Hotspot. So they have their own domain email, and they're using it on Outlook. So they do not have to use the specialized mail software. They are also using the Teams, so they can chat between the onshore office and the ship as needed anytime. So according to the customer, the communication is same as communication on shore. So in the past, the land to shore communication was rather difficult, but with this level of the service, they are able to have very smooth communication with the vessels. And Fleet Hotspot is also being used by this customer. More notably, this customer adopted Fleet Express after switching from another company's VSAT, which they had been using until then. We are very grateful to them, and they are extremely satisfied with the system. Customers said that the VSAT they had been using up to that point did not do all of these things. Switching to Fleet Express has enabled them to do all of these, and even the things we were able to do before are now much easier to use in comparison. So actually this has made a great contribution to their operation. I think this is really case in point that I wanted to share with you. For your information, Toei Reefer Line's case study is also available on our website. So please search for Imasat Toei Reefer Line for your reference. And another one I'd like to introduce is Imasat Orchestra. And this is a combination of L-band and FB, which we currently offer as Fleet Express, and Ka-band VSAT, or Global Express, plus 5G, and also LEO, Low Earth Orbit Satellite. So each of them has different features and advantages. The service will be like an orchestra playing in beautiful harmony with these services. This is the roadmap for next generation. So with the time limited, sorry for my rather rushed presentation, but thank you very much for your attention. But if you have any interest or any inquiry, please contact me with this address. Thank you very much. Mr. Tabata, thank you very much.
So please give a big round of applause to Mr. Tabata. Next, we will have a presentation from Mr. Zong Fan Son, Interian Technologies. Interian is a partner of Inmarsat, and they manufacture antenna. So Zong Fan Son is going to give the presentation. And first of all, please look at the video provided by Interian. Sorry, we don't have the simultaneous interpretation for this part. Mr. Zonfan can speak Japanese, so today's presentation will be in Japanese. So I was wondering what I should talk about, and I was watching Tabata-san's presentation, and I was thinking what needs to be mentioned in my presentation. Our company is an antenna company, and our antenna, Interian antenna, is used by Inmarsat, and they're using our antenna to do their business. In our company, the we are not just providing GX antenna, but KU, A, FB, all the communication is can be provided using our antenna. So we are providing our antenna to more than 100,000 vessels, and Inmarsat is our largest customer, and we are very grateful for this business. Interia was established in 2004, and we are quite a young company in this industry. And as the demand for antenna grew, our company grew as well. In 2011, we were awarded a prize in Korea, and we have 7 subsidiaries worldwide, and we are doing business worldwide now. And in Northern, we decided to start a research center, and in UK, LEO research center was established in US as well. Currently, our business is focusing on antenna, but from GEO, we are trying to spread the business to LEO as well. And we are currently trying to commercialize our product. So we can send you the image later, but I just want to briefly go over the important points.
In the country, we are doing main business, and this is the immersive. More than 90% of the providers are using our antenna, and thanks to that, currently we are having a number one global market share of more than 60%. And looking at the future vision, starting from 2017, we are working with other partners to engage in LEO business and OneWave. Parabolic's antenna was developed in 2019 for mass production, but regrettably, starting from the end of this year, we were planning to provide this business globally, but there was a certain delay in OneWave. So we have been seeing some delays, but thanks to this trigger with Amazon, we were able to start a cooperation, and starting from last year, we are engaging in a new business. And we have SSS, IO3, and we are collaborating. And in IO3, crew service is using our service. So between the antenna, it's 2.4 meters, but with one antenna, 3 band can be received with this antenna. So among the crew, large capacity or large demand can be served with this development. And with the use of this antenna, data can be managed. So Carnival sales increased by tenfold. And let me explain on that. The current people do not have much cash, but they are rather using credit cards and internet-based settlement service. Therefore, on board, there is a significant increase for this service demand. And with internet, the vessel on-board consumption is increasing. So the usage has increased starting from 2018. Carnival and Viking, the large cruise companies are using our antenna 100%. And in order to support this, O3B, new satellite resources are used, and KU and C band antennas, and the 3 band KUC. New plan was also introduced, and the KA band is the new, and our KO band is using a GEO satellite service can all be used. So for the future, we are one step ahead of others. So currently looking at OneWave and O3B, and with future plans with Amazon, all of the NF series that we have will be available as a service. And this year, our global market share used to be 50% or 60%. By next year, we are hopeful to see a much increase in our global market share.
And regarding LEO, there are more things I would like to mention. And when you look at the situation of Japan at the moment, so Marik, the partners, and Telec, and OneWave itself, there are some delays, and I think the business here in Japan is being delayed as well. But from this year, we decided to establish an office in Japan. So we would like to improve our services provided to Japanese customers, and we would like to widen our presence in the Japanese market, and we would like to introduce more of our services. So I look forward to your support regarding this. And that's all from me. Thank you very much. Thank you. So we are now prepared to show the video. So please look at this video, and after we would like to end the presentation with the video. So if you can just wait for a while. Thank you. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them maybe after the video. Excuse me. We are having some technical difficulties. Thank you for waiting. We are now going to have the video. Thank you. Sorry to keep you waiting for a long time. So this is the end of the presentation from Interian. Thank you very much for participating in this conference of today. This is the end of the online connection. After this, we will have an opportunity for people to exchange business cards. So I would like to close this meeting. If you have any questions or if you want to have some documents that was shared today, if you can contact us in the secretariat, then we can share such information or respond to you regarding the questions. Thank you very much for your participation today.